So welcome back to another episode, and welcome to some games that I missed in 2021. It's gonna happen. It was a very busy year for gaming. There was a lot of stuff that we covered, but we can't cover everything. That's nearly impossible. But I spent a little bit of my holiday break playing some games that I was like, man, I think I'm missing out on this game. And so I delved into some games that I really want to play. Let me know down below, what are some games that you think kind of got missed in 2021, that maybe got a bad rap, that are actually really good games. Some of the games I'm going to talk about today, they're good, and some of them have been very disappointing. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with a very positive note. And I knew that this game was going to be good because I liked the original, and this is the sequel. And I'm like, well, I really like that first game. And I had no time. I made some time. And I picked up Lost Judgement right here for the PS5. And I originally picked up the original for PS4. And I still think it's one of those games that is a very underground, cult, classic game that deserves more love. And I'm so glad that I gave this game some love over the Christmas break. Wow, fantastic. I really love this game. I like the visuals, but I like the stealth. I like that it's not all fighting, it's stealth, that you're running around the city. And I'm so glad that I gave this game some time and some love because it deserves it. This is an excellent game. This is one of my games of the year for 2021, if I can add it on to that list. What makes it so great? The story, it's a very serious story. You play as a private investigator and you're trying to solve some mysteries. And that's about all I'll say because it's a kind of very serious storyline. And as you're going along, the great thing here is there's stealth elements. So you got the story, which is really engaging, and then you have the stealth. So you're following people through the city, trying to stay away and trying to stay in the background. That is a lot of fun. It's so great to do that, to scale buildings, to find out different ways of entering things. It is really engaging. And then you have moments, of course, when you get into combat. How is the combat? It's excellent. I really, really like the combat. It's flashy, it's kinetic. I love the combos. It feels great. And I'm gonna say something here that may be a little controversial to some people, but I'm starting to like these games, the Yakuza games, way more than Shenmue. It's happening. It's getting to that point. These games are doing everything that Shenmue was doing, and they're different style of games, but boy, do I love the Sega fanfare in there. I love exploring the city. I find it really, really engaging, and this game really has got me hooked. I really recommend this game to anybody who liked the original of the Yakuza series. This is excellent stuff, and definitely one that I missed, and I'm mad at myself that I missed it. I'm like, man, I really knew it was going to be good, and it was, and I'm like, damn, I should have played it, I reviewed it when it first came out, but we only have so much time. Have you guys played this game? So we started off with a very, very positive one, and that brings us to our next game, Aliens Fireteam Elite. Now, why did I play this game? Well, I was kind of going up and down on my Game Pass, and I'm like, oh, that Alien game, that's on here. I'm like, I'll give it a try. No reviews. I hadn't seen any reviews. And I'm like, Alien games can be a bit of a hit or a miss. You never know. I mean, Alien Isolation, I brought it out here. This was a very scripted game, but boy, did it have some tension. And I really, really enjoyed this game. Captured Alien perfectly. And so this new game is trying to capture the aliens aspect, the colonial marines, something that I absolutely love. I saw Aliens when it first came out in theaters back in the day. And so I kind of went in with high expectations. And they went straight to the ground right away. I hate to say it, but I really was disappointed with this game. I was really expecting some tension, some excitement. And I got none of it. I mean, I was picking my character and I'm like, oh, this is really dull. These characters look really dull. Nothing really exciting there. I'm like, okay, who cares? We'll get into the gameplay. And then all of a sudden you kind of look in your hub world and you're like, okay, I'm going to go on a mission. And you got your pulse rifle there and you just start running down the hallway. And I mean, I felt no tension. Like some gas would come out of a valve and I'm like, okay, keep running. No fear, no nothing. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, and no build up, no excitement, some aliens come out and you're like, and you're just shooting them. And you're just kind of it's so deflating. It doesn't feel exciting. It doesn't feel interesting. It doesn't feel fun. I mean, and how can you screw up an Aliens game? I always feel that in my mind. I'm like, the source material is so perfect for these style of games. It's perfect. Where Alien Isolation was able to get that tension and fear. And tension and fear should be there, even in a first-person shooter like this, or it should be there. And I got none of it. I honestly dropped off the map after about 15 minutes of playing it. I'm like, I am not interested. Does the game get any better? Does it get better as you go on? For me, it didn't get me to begin with. I was like, I'm on the way out here, folks. I was so disappointed, and I'm like, what is it with the Alien games? They're so divisive. They're up and down, and this one is a downer for me. Did you guys like the game? Okay, this next game was a big game in 2021. Not to me, because I had not played it at that point. It was for the Video Game Awards. They gave it Game of the Year. And I was like, what? That Game of the Year, right? Really? I've got to play this game. And I'm like, Kim, we've got to play this game. It's a 2-player game. So it was on Game Pass, and I'm like, perfect. This is working out. Game Pass really worked out well for me this Christmas because there were so many games I wanted to play that were on there. And it's no plug for Game Pass, but I'm just saying I subscribed to the service. These games are there. That's why I played some of them. And so I downloaded it. It takes two. And I really didn't know what to expect. The graphics are very cartoony. And I'm like, this is not my style, realistically. But we started to play it, split screen, and we were having some fun. And all of a sudden we're very frustrated, then we're having some fun, but then we're very frustrated, then we're having some fun. That's how it was for me and Kim, trying to figure out some of the puzzles. And it's not that the puzzles are hard, but you're trying to work with the other person to accomplish them. And so it's a negotiation saying, oh, I need to go over here. No, you need to go back over there. Jump on this, jump on that, and open up that lever, which will open up this. It's really, really good. It's a great 2-player couch co-op game to play with a friend or anybody else. I mean, it is awesome. And I really like the game. Is it a game of the year? Yes. Is it the game of the year for me? No, that shouldn't become a Tennessee 5. But this game is a really fun game to play. We had a lot of laughs, and we were like, oh my God, and getting frustrated, and that's what it's about, and having a bit of fun, and getting on the couch again. And it kind of reminded me, I know this is going to sound a really weird thing to say, it gave me the feeling of the old N64 PlayStation days with, action platforming games, which we don't have enough of these days, I don't feel. And so it's kind of a nice return to that style of game, and I don't know why, it felt so 90s to me. Did you guys enjoy playing It Takes Two? We really did, and a high recommendation for that. There's a game I missed, but I'm glad we got to revisit and play together. Okay, next is a game that kind of came out. And I didn't see the build-up for it. I didn't see any of that. It just came out. I didn't even think about it for review because it just kind of slid under the radar, like big time. And I think it did for a lot of people. Again, I saw on Game Pass. I'm like, let's give it a go. Because I was so curious about it. It had gotten very good reviews. So I was like, really? I didn't even see the hype for this. So I started to play it. Scarlet Nexus by Bandai Namco. And what kind of style of game is this? It's an action RPG and more centering on action going on in there. And it starts off and the story's kind of interesting, kind of weird. The character design's very generic, but nice, very anime style, which I do like. I like that style. I like the world setting, walking around the city was kind of cool. I was like, this is really nice graphics. I feel really at home in this world. But the thing that sets it off more than anything, the graphics are good, the story's pretty good, it's the gameplay. And oh my God, the action combat in here is second to none. I loved it so very much. And you're running around, and what you're doing is, here's the selling point for me. You're using psychokinesis powers. So here's the thing that's amazing is, while you're playing it, you're getting a car and shooting it at the enemy with your mind, but at the same time going in and attacking with your weapon of choice. And it's all happening at once, and you have a variety of moves beyond that. It is a lot of fun, and this is one of those games that dare I say it, it's a bit of a hidden gem. It's one of those style of games, and I think in time, it's going to be one of those cult classics that people will look back on and say, that was a lot of fun, that combat was really awesome, and all of that, and I think people will come back to it. It's one of those games that I don't believe you should buy it at full price. I think you should get it on the cheap. It's one of those games you should get if you like, an action RPG, kind of heavily anime story going on there. Definitely a very well created world to kind of explore in. A little limited at times, not open world by any stretch of the imagination, but fun to run around in. I recommend this game on the cheap, and I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to go back to it. Now, the next game is a funny one. This is a really entertaining game. It's so silly, it's so ridiculous, and I was talking to Rob on the phone, and he's like, have you played this game? And I'm like, yeah, I was going to ask you if you played it too. Mighty Goose, have you played this again? It was on Game Pass. I was like, this looks so silly. I have to play it. I have to try this out. And it is ridiculous. It is basically you playing as a goose, side view, very Metal Slug. Very Metal Slug. My God. Everything is taken from that game, and it's given a very cutesy look to it. And you're running around as this goose, shooting the hell out of everything, and it's ridiculous. And the animation's really nice. The music's kind of nice. But what? This is so dumb. You know what sold it for me, of all things in the game, is that there's a button just to make your goose go honk, honk, and I'll let that play. I just thought that was the funniest thing, an actual button for going honk with your goose. You'll just stop and go honk, 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 honk. And it's silly, it's dumb, it's fun. It's one of those games you just pick up, you play for fun, and I don't know about this. Is there any physical copies coming in the future? I would pick that up. It's that funny of a game, and if you like the Metal Slug series, you'll fall in love with this game. You'll go, oh, this is kind of cute. I've been here before, I'm here again, but I'm playing as a goose that goes honk, and what the heck is going on with my life? That is for sure. So, guys, what are some games that you played in 2021 that you think other people should give a chance to, give a shot to? Games maybe we all missed. Let us know down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.